By a show of hands, who here has done this before? This is how thick.
There you go.
The dumbass who put this on did with the amount of glue. Well, that didn't go as planned. Hey friends, welcome back to the shop. If this is your first time here, I'm Art.
I'm Dana.
And today we are going to tackle one of the last few steps on stripping Clara down all naked, getting her ready for her bath. Windshield removal. By a show of hands, who here has done this before? So this should be interesting. But it looks pretty straightforward. Basically, we have some trim that has to come off. There is a little caveat with that trim that we'll show. Purchased a basic windshield removal kit from Amazon. We'll post the link to that in the description box. And I think probably the biggest challenge that we'll have on this is daddy time having this windshield on there as long as it's been there.
I'm hoping that will work in our favor, that like all the seals will just kind of have disappeared as so much of the rest of the car has just disappeared.
I feel that it's probably going to be stuck on harder because of that. Because of the years of heat on that glue, that it may be a little tough pulling it apart. But we'll see.
We already know the worst thing that could possibly happen here.
Don't say it.
Shh. I'm not.
Good, good. Because I don't want to have to pay for a new one. So let's go ahead and get started on the first step, which is the trim. And I'll show kind of what the caveat with it is to make sure that you adhere to. On the trim, depending upon the year, now in the mid to late 60s, the top trim piece actually is in two pieces, I think. And in 70, it's actually one across the top and then one each side. But if you look closely there, it actually overlaps. So we want to take off the side trims first, and then we'll take off the top trim. These also have these little support brackets that are in place that we went ahead and loosened up. I'm not going to take those off completely because it's still supporting the windshield, and we want to use as much support as possible with this. All right, so let's get started on the trim. Now, part of that trim kit is this trim tool. It looks very similar to any other trim removal tool. The bonus part of this is that it's got a larger or longer handle to it, so that should help. I'm going to be very sensitive with this. I'm seeing a larger seal up top and less on the bottom. So I think what I want to try to first do is take a razor blade without using a lot of pressure on the windshield.
Did you break your blade?
Sure did.
Need a new blade on it?
That seal was on there, man. All right, I think we finally got this trim piece loose. So now should be able to get this underneath here.
Do you need a razor blade?
No, not at the moment. Now I'm going to pull away from the glass, away from it, to keep this from rolling back on the glass and possibly breaking it. Take my time. Okay. Looks like there's little brackets on here that hold this trim on. Okay.
So you pulled it out from the bottom and slid it down.
Yeah, on this trim, there is actually a channel. You can see, I'll try to put this right. There is a channel on that runs along this. That channel is held in by these 3 clips. So once we got it free, then looks like the best way to take this back off is to slide it down away from those channels. This is how thick.
There you go.
The dumbass who put this on did with the amount of glue. Let's see if you can see the thickness there. Now what I did notice taking off these sides, the top trim here actually slides inside. There's little channels on both sides for it to slide in and hold it there in place. So now that's done, now we're going to go ahead and work on the top. Yay! Top trim it off. But towards that driver's side, more evidence of idiocy and cutting corners. Just filled full of glue. All right.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Busted the glass.
Yep.
Well, so much for that. Well, unfortunately, with the amount of glue that they have around this and the pressure of trying to cut through that glue has resulted in this windshield cracking now. That really sucks. I hate throwing out money. And I know that there was really nothing that I could have done to avoid it, more than likely, because there's just so much that we have to cut through.
I want to show y'all the view the inside. It'll show through.
When these are done right, it shouldn't be this ugly. But unfortunately, you buy something that someone else has been trying to keep up with over the years that have not wanted to really invest. They've just put band-aids on it. This is the result.
All the glue coming through on the inside.
That's crazy.
I don't know how you get it out without sugaring it. It's moving. That's what's coming up.
Whee! Finally!
Yeah. I was right, the bottom's coming up. That top is, it's free until about here, and then it's all glued up. So much glue. Look at this. This is still,
Yeah.
got the top part of the windshield attached.
Well, that didn't go as planned, but not all projects do.
Nope.
The cost of classic car restoration, that's what I'm going to chalk this up to.
I blame the previous.
Yes, yeah, we definitely put a lot of blame on whoever did this, whether it was an individual personally or an individual for a business professionally, that just absolutely cake battered this glue on where it was impossible, and it is going to be a pain. Thankfully, I would normally say a pain to try to strip it all off, but I think the chemical bath is going to take care of all of that for us.
Yeah.
But we're left with having to get the bill on a brand new windshield, unfortunately, something I wanted to avoid.
Avoiding it is a worthy cause. Lesson, learning how to take off the trim and
Yeah.
how you're supposed to take off a windshield.
Yes, at least we got the trim.
Experience points.
Yeah, experience points. So, not all is easy and glamorous with this particular project, but we had a feeling that it wasn't going to be.
No.
So hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Maybe just a tad of learning and more of entertainment, if nothing else. So until next time, stay safe. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.